Hey, so today I'm going to work on doing final fitting and filling in the stock bumper bracket holes on the little Fiat car here. I have already taken everything out of the boxes and kind of bolted it up, got things, just the preliminary fit done, kind of roughed out a couple of holes, and now we got to go back and take care of the finish work to get those things to be ready to do body work, and then prime these small areas. You know, we've done the entire car. You can kind of see. I think last video we may have done a little paint stripping. Prior to that, I put the epoxy on. The entire car's had one coat of urethane primer, or one application. It's 3 wet coats of urethane primer. It's been sanded, blocked down with 180, and then reprimed. So now we're in the second application of primer. Here's the parts that we stripped the other day. They're all nice, and most of the paint came off of them. So just kind of what's to be expected when you use paint stripper, unless you sit there for a lot of time playing with them little edges. We know we're going to have to sand it anyway, so we just go with that. This car is a 79 model, and it came with the giant insurance bumpers that poke off of the car, and they have big rubber fillers and stuff. So the owner wanted to get it back to a cleaner looking vehicle. So he bought these thin little chrome bumperettes for it, and they come with some really nice stainless steel brackets and all the hardware you would need to put them together. So we're working on getting all that done. And back here you can see you got this hole where the bumper bracket fits through the body on both sides. I had already finished it, but I didn't spend enough time pre-fitting the bumpers in the earlier stages. Thought I had them pretty close, but they were up just a little bit too high. So they come with relocation brackets for the turn signals. We're going to do away with those and put some little turn signals up here off of earlier car. Yeah, so that's the front. The back's pretty cool because it's got like a split bumper on the back. So you end up with 2 chrome bumpers ends here. I've got it just, I mean, they're hanging off of this bracket. You can see it coming out of the body down there, and it's extremely loose. It moves all over the place. I've got to get this outside hole made, but to do that, I've got to mount these lower quarter extensions, and then there's not very much room here. You can see where the bottom edge of the quarter is. You've got a flange here where it's pinch welded together, and that bolt is like right below that pinch weld. And I mean, I can adjust and move up and down, but we want these to be kind of in line with the vehicle. So yeah, just some time to invest in doing that. I want everything fitted on the car. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, the lights that the customer ordered, they're going to take a good amount of time to get here. So I've got plenty of time to finish up my bodywork stuff on it. I say bodywork, but getting these last few holes drilled, the last little bit of filler work complete on the parts that I stripped the paint on, and then just going in, we got to sand all the jams, the engine compartment, the trunk compartment. Everything on this vehicle is getting painted because it's going to be about 3 shades lighter green than what it is right now. You know, the customer is always right. We do what they want. So that's kind of where we're going with it. I pre-marked where the bracket sat before I took the bumper off the vehicle because they're thin and they have no real bracing, so they can move quite a bit when they're bolted on that bumper. We want to get them a good mark from where they are with the bumper on the car and aligned, so that we know where to clearance our little filler pieces that we got to build to go around these holes. And you can see they're really kind of oddly shaped little holes. It actually has a rubber grommet that slides over that would cover all of the original cutout that I made up, but I've moved this down. I mean, you can see kind of back in here, moved it quite a bit. This side I actually had to move even more. So I want to verify that my height is the same from side to side and we don't have some other kind of issue here, but I had checked it once before. You can see the little pencil marks here, top and bottom. I just laid a straight edge on there and put some marks on it just to verify. And I've got some other, these pieces that I cut out. They're kind of odd shaped too, but we're going to clean all this up with this final little bit here. I didn't go ahead and cut the opening for the bracket to fit in and out of these, because if I do that, then there's not enough material there. When I start welding, it's going to burn away the ends and just be a real fight to get it done. So this is kind of what I ended up with. I typically would have cut out a larger area and filled everything, but it's just time to get this little part of this project finished up. So yeah, here we go. All right, so I've got the holes patched where I needed to for my bumper brackets to come through. Got a little rubber grommet that fits around and covers up that entire hole. We'll put on there once everything's done. I have the mounting brackets are on this side and the other side. Figured out the spacing and what I need to do, just a simple little rubber gasket in between. I'll cut those to fit later. And then the owner brought out some lights. So I don't know how well that shows up, but you can see we got a round little spot there for a turn signal, since we did away with the originals. And then here are the turn signals that he purchased. And everything on this car is going like with a nod towards the original stuff that you could get on an older version. So these come from Moss Motors. They're actually glass lensed lights. Very nice. And we'll convert them over and put LEDs in them at some point. So with building the lights the way that they are, the customer wants to have them inset so that the face of the lens is flat with the front of the car, aka Frenched light. So I've kind of started that process here already, just getting the pieces cut that we're going to need to use. I've got a piece of tubing here. Now you could use exhaust tubing or something like that if you had it handy, but I needed a piece of 3-inch tubing. Didn't have any, so I just took and rolled a piece of flat sheet metal. I've got it tacked with my MIG here so that it'll be held together. And then I've taken a piece of 16 gauge and marked that, kind of cut it out close on my throatless shear. Then this will set on there, leave everything long so I can go around and edge weld everything. And then we'll drill a giant hole in the front of this car and set these in get them kind of flattened out where we want, and we'll be able to make our final trim on our length of this once we kind of figure out where we want to set those lights in there. We can mark it, trim it close, weld it in the car, and then final grind it all. So that's what's going on the Fiat today.